If you're a parent working a job that's keeping you away from your kids, this video is probably going to piss you off. And look, I'm not here to inspire you or motivate you. I'm here to literally shake you. I spent 17 years with the same company flying on airplanes 100,000 miles per year. For 7 of those years, I missed nearly half of my son's life watching it through photos and FaceTime. Then one day, with tears in his eyes, as I was about to leave for a trip, he looked up to me and he said, "Dad, I don't like it when you leave." That sentence that I still hear to this day absolutely crushed me. But it was also the moment that my life changed forever. Up until that point, I had tried for a good 15 years to get out of my 9 to 5 job. I have attempted 26 different side hustles and I gave up on all of them, or I dabbled in all of them, or I never really fully committed. And I started to get a little bit more serious about it when my son was born. And I realized that if I continued down the path that I was going to continue down, feeling like that's what I had to do because that's what I watched my father do. My dad was gone all the time too when I was younger. And I noticed, and I remember noticing when I was very young and just seeing how burnt out he was, even at a young age. And I really couldn't articulate it. I really didn't understand. But looking back, I could see that it was taking its toll on him. And it's kind of funny how we recreate the lives that our parents live. And I remember my father telling me all throughout my young life, and no fault to him because that's what was told to him as well, which was, hey, you got to go to school, man. You got to get good grades and make sure you go to a good college so that you can get into a good management training program and go up the corporate ladder and stay there as long as possible. And that's literally what he did. He worked for the same company for 40 years. And I kind of saw the guy flame out. And I did the same thing. I worked for the same company for 17 years. And I started traveling. I actually traveled way more than he did. And when my son came into this world, I just thought to myself, like, there's no way that I'm repeating what my father did, because I remember how I felt as a young kid. I knew that he was feeling something similar, especially on the day where he told me, "Hey, Dad, I'm so frightened when you leave. I'm scared to be here in the house alone with Mom." Just absolutely wrecked me. But it was also one of the best days of my life. And I thank him for this all the time because he gave me the courage to finally take my shot, like a real attempt, not this dabbling in side hustles and hiding behind all of my fears, right, and distracting myself. It was okay. He is reminding me of how I felt when I was a young kid about my dad. He couldn't articulate it because he was really young. He was 5 or 6 years old at the time, but he felt it. He could see my energy that I didn't like the life that I was living. And he spoke up about it. Like, it was about him too. He didn't want me to be gone, but he was also telling me, like, "Hey man, snap out of it. Like, you got to do something. You've been wanting this for a long time. It's time for you to step up. Your kids know. They're paying attention. They feel the energy. Like, they can't articulate it, but they know." And he knew. And I'll tell you another story of how he knew. And this relates to my father as well, because he and I don't talk anymore. I haven't talked to my father in over 8 years. And it's really upsetting. Like, I miss my dad, and that's a whole nother YouTube video. But I remember the first time that I told my son, again, he was super young at the time. He's about 5 years old. And I said, "Hey, look, your grandfather has chosen not to speak with me anymore. There's really not much I can do about it. It really sucks. I'm super upset about it. And I just want to let you know, buddy, that no matter what you do in your life, any mistake that you make, like, I'm never going to turn my back on you. Like, I'll always be there for you." And after I told him this, he didn't really say anything. He just kind of looked at me And he said words that I'll just never forget. And he said to me, "I'm sorry about your dad." And he hugged me. And it was still one of the most powerful things that I've ever been through in my life, because at that moment, this 5-year-old kid knew exactly what I needed. He felt it. Like, I didn't need him to fix me. I didn't need him to say anything. He knew exactly what to say. And this just goes back to, like, your kids know, they can feel the energy. They know exactly what's going on. They just can't articulate it. So don't underestimate them. They're watching, and they can feel that you hate your job, or that you're not fulfilled, or that you're in this situation that you feel stuck and you can't get out of. Like, they know, they just can't speak it to you. So I want you to pay attention to them. And I want you to also understand that there's something that you have to do about that, because they are watching. And if you don't want your kids to end up like you, and most of you don't, you want a better life for them, like, you've got to start taking the action to make sure that they don't walk the same path as you, especially if the path that you're walking is not the one that you want to walk. And that was me. I didn't want to miss his life. And at that moment where he said, "Dad, I don't like it when you leave," I made a decision shortly thereafter where I said to myself, he's never saying those words to me again. I've got one shot to watch this kid grow up, and I'll be damned if I miss it and repeat what my father had to go through. And it's not that he did it intentionally. That's what he felt he had to do. And I'm telling you, for those of you who are watching this video and you feel like that's what you have to do, I'm living proof that you don't, because I was able to break free from that 17-year job, and I've been out of it for more than 5 years, and I don't miss anything now. I don't miss a thing. I don't miss practices. I don't miss games. I don't miss his life moments. And I never thought it was possible. I thought I was going to go down this path and just end up exactly like my father. He gave me the courage to quit being afraid. And then I went out and I took my shot. And any time that I think about quitting, that I think about giving up, because here's something that I'll tell you about business, that most people who are selling stuff online, on how to teach you how to make money online, how to get into business for yourself online, will never tell you these words. And this is the absolute truth. Business is hard. This isn't easy. I've never in my life wanted to quit anything more than business. That includes school, that includes my job, anything. It's hard, it's difficult, it's lonely here. When you're in business, you usually don't have a lot of friends that are doing it along with you, which is why being in communities and being around people who are also doing it is very powerful, because you need that support. But for the most part, you're doing it on your own. Like, the friends that I have in the real world, in real life, in my everyday life, they're not business owners. They're 9-to-5ers, and that's the path that they're going to stay on. And you have to accept that. And it's tough. But anytime I think about giving up, anytime I'm like, you know what, this was a mistake, I'm cashing in. Because let me tell you another thing too, is that never goes away. If you think just because I've been in business for 5 years that I don't get scared, that's a lie. I still have doubts. I still have fears. I still have self-limiting beliefs. I just don't let them run the show. Like, I'm running the show. And whenever I think about giving up, I just hear those words. "Dad, I don't like it when you leave." And it's over pretty quick, because I made a promise. He's never saying those words to me again. And he's not. And he's older now, and I often thank him for saying that to me, because it's exactly what I needed. And again, he knew when that moment occurred, when he finally spoke up and said something. I was out of excuses, completely out of excuses. Like, not having enough time Bunch of garbage. Absolutely a bunch of garbage. I talk to so many people who are victims of time and they let it run them and they hide behind the real truth, which is they just don't want it bad enough. And that's exactly the world that I lived in, is I didn't want it bad enough. I wasn't willing to sacrifice my nights, my mornings, my weekends to build something that would get me out of the situation that I said I wanted out of. If you don't want out of your situation, then do whatever you want on the weekends or on your own time. But if you're saying to yourself or you're saying to anyone else out loud, I don't want this anymore. I don't want this life. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I'm sick of being owned by somebody else, of not being able to make my own decisions and do what I want on my terms. And then you're saying, but I don't have time, or I don't have money, or I don't have enough knowledge, or I'm scared, or I don't think people would buy from me, or I don't have any skills. Whatever your excuse is, it's worthless here. It really is. Because you can solve all of those problems. Okay? Time is simply a matter of choice. Everyone has the same amount of time. You choose to not work on your business when you have free time. You are making decisions with your time. So that can be fixed. At the end of all of these excuses, when they all go away and you just move them out of the way and you say, you know what, I don't have any excuses left, you're just left with fear. It's all you're left with. And that was the thing that was really, really holding me back, was I was just scared, right? I was scared that I would build something that I had to live up to. I found that out later, and it's all overcomable. Like, I just want you to know, listening to this video and listening to me, that the solution for all of your problems exists. The moment that you admit one simple truth, it isn't anything that you're telling yourself. It's none of it. It's not the time. It's not your boss. It's not lack of capital. It's you. You're the reason that you're stuck. I was the reason that I was stuck. I couldn't get out of my own way, and I couldn't stop lying to myself. I lied to myself for so long, and I needed a 6-year-old kid to call me out on my shit. And that's exactly what he did. And I'm so grateful that he did it, because not only was I able to get out of my job 9 months after I went all in on my first business, and more than 2.5 times my income 18 months later, I was able to get out of my job. Not only was I able to do that, but I was able to share my experiences and my story with other people who needed to hear it. And that ultimately became the thing that I knew that I was supposed to do. I built a real estate business. After 26 side hustles, the 27th one was real estate, which I didn't really know anything about. And you know from watching my channel, if you've seen any of my stuff, that I'm all about taking what you already know how to do, your existing skills from your 9 to 5, a transformation that you went through in your life, or a hobby or a skill that you have on the side. That's what you bring to the online world, stuff that you already know how to do, not looking at something like drop shipping or Amazon FBA or selling books on Kindle or whatever you're looking at. Like, you don't know anything about that. You have skills, you have ability. You just have to get out of your own way. I'm now able to share my story and my transformation with other people and my knowledge. And I would have never had the opportunity to do that if that little guy didn't shake me, right? If he didn't say, hey, snap out of it, dude. You've got this. You can do this. You're capable. The message here is that I want you to pay attention to your kids, whether they're speaking it to you or it's just the energy that they're giving you, right? Because again, they know. and make a move. You don't have to be scared. Definitely don't rack up your excuses, because let me tell you something that is going to eat you up. It's going to eat you alive. All those excuses that I made over the 15-year period that I was trying to get out of my job, they really started to chip away at me. And I wasn't a happy person. I really wasn't. I was miserable. And I'm actually surprised that after 26 failed attempts, or 26 dabbled attempts, whatever you want to call it, that I actually made it to the 27th one, and that I'm where I'm at right now. So I hope that gives you some hope, because all those times that I gave up and that I quit or that I failed, it's like I just kept going. And I was able to finally make it work. And I've learned so many lessons along the way that I get to share with people who have never heard this message before. Like, I've talked about this so many times over the last 5 years. I've told this story that I sort of get tired of talking about it. But someone brand new will hear this message. They'll listen to my story and they'll be like, wow, that's me. Like, I'm going through the same thing. And for those of you who are looking, you have a story inside of you. You think you can help people because you've been through an experience, some type of a transformation. I encourage you to share it, because the first time I ever told this story about my son, he's never saying those words to me again. The feedback was absolutely tremendous. People came up to me and they said, wow, Brian, that was exactly what I'm going through, or what I needed to hear. And that's when the light bulb started to go off, which was like, I'm not the only one who's going through something like this. And I thought that I was. More people are going through it. So if you have something that's challenged you in your life and you've been able to break free and move forward, like I have, other people need to hear it. And that's why I continue to tell this story, because people will hear it. They'll be moved by it. Like, some people click the video off after the first 30 seconds, right? Some of you have stuck around for 15 or 20 minutes because you can relate to this. And you also have to understand, when you do something like this, is that you're not going to save everyone. You're not going to reach everyone, but you're going to reach a lot more people if you do it in an authentic way and you come from the heart, right? And you just pour your heart out, which is really what I'm doing right here. I have a plan for this video in terms of like what I want to say. I have bullet points. I'm looking at the camera the whole time. Like, I'm pretty much just riffing here. I'm not really looking at notes. I know what I'm going to say because I've said it so many times and I've lived this story. I want to leave you with something here that really nobody ever wants to hear. Wherever you are in your life, right? Maybe you're in your 40s, maybe you're in your 50s, maybe you're older. At some point, we're all going to leave this earth. And this is something that I think about a lot, and I've thought about a lot, which is, if I have the opportunity to actually have a deathbed, right? If my life doesn't end suddenly, what are the things that I want to say? What do I want coming out of my mouth? And that really motivates me. That really drove me, because I didn't want to spit out a pile of regret looking across from my son. Because here is the harsh reality. My employer, my boss, they weren't going to be on my deathbed. But my kid, my wife, they're going to be right there. They're going to be the ones looking at me. And I don't want to say to them, I wish I would have gotten off those airplanes. I wish that I would have spent more time with you. I wish that I would have had the courage to take my shot. And those are the things that I want to avoid saying. I want you to really think about that, because it's really important stuff. Because most of us, a lot of us, and you hear these stories all the time, is you're filled with regret. And we don't want that, because the day is going to come. And that should also motivate you and make you understand that one day this is not going to matter. Your fear and your doubt and your self-limiting beliefs and you thinking that you don't have the ability or you're not capable, it's never going to matter. Anybody who laughed at you or said something bad to you on social media, haters, like, none of that matters, because you're not going to be here and neither are they. And it's all going to be forgotten after a certain period of time. So you may as well make your move and stop letting fear run the show. Don't wait for someday or another someday. Your family deserves better. Your children deserve better. And deep down, you know that you do too, because this is for you. This isn't just for them. You want this too. You're the one who's got to do it. So it can and should be for you. Like, this is for me. I do this for me as well, but I also do it for them because I don't want to miss the moments with them, because in the end, like, that's really all that matters. It's not how much money I have. My kid doesn't care how much money I have. He doesn't. He wants me to play catch out in the backyard with him. He wants me to come to his baseball games, right? He wants me to talk to him. Now, he's a teenager now, so that becomes less and less, but you get what I mean. That's what they want. They want you to be there. That's what I wanted from my dad. And he was there a lot, but that's what I remember. And now that he's not in my life anymore, that's all I want. I don't want his money. I want to play golf with him, you know? Like, that's the stuff that we used to do, and we don't get to do it anymore. And it's heartbreaking. And you can do something about it. Don't let that be the result. Don't let your children look at you that way. If you feel that, if you feel like that's something that could happen, you still have time. It's never, ever, ever too late. I hope that this message lands with you. That is my aim. That is my goal, is to just encourage you that you're capable. I'll leave you with this quote. It's something that I say every single day, and it's changed my life. And I didn't invent this quote. I got this from a book that I read years ago that literally changed my life. It's from The Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod. And in it, he says, I am just as worthy, deserving, and capable of my ideal life as anyone on this planet, and I'm going to prove it today with my actions. Believe it and go prove it.